Hi, this is Pamela Gropey Art, and today I'm going to share with you how I transfer designs onto my surface to paint. How I do this, I use a pattern when I'm struggling with scale. So like this, it was an actual photograph I took, sized it up, printed it off, and now I can at least sketch the outline of the flower. The details I can manage, but to get the proper scale for the petals, I wanted to go ahead and use a pattern. On the one I did on a huge board that's much larger than this one, I just kind of sketched it on with my paintbrush, and it worked. But for this one, I wanted to use a pattern. So one, I can show you how to transfer the pattern, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to lighten the lines with a magic eraser once I'm done transferring this pattern on here. I'm nearly done. I have quite a bit of it on here, and now I'm going to finish over here, and then I'll have the basic outlines for me to follow, and then I will be more comfortable painting. Okay, I will finish this up and come back and show you how I lighten lines I may have gotten too dark. I have taped with painter's tape along the side of, this is a canvas, I do this a lot on boards or for signs too, but I made it like have a hinge point so I can lift the pattern to look and see if it's transferring properly. Right now I'm trying a white transfer paper, and I will link to what I use. I use either a dark or a light. This is a blush background, and I know a dark would show up really too starkly, and the orange would not erase it. It's not like a water soluble. I think there might be some water soluble transfer papers out there. I haven't used them. This is just what I use. This is graphite paper. A dark one, I would probably, if I got the lines too dark, have to go in and lighten them up, erase them. And so I'm going to try the white, and I'm going to see if it will transfer enough for me to see the pattern. So I'm just going to go along. I like using these big round stick. This is a fine. They seem to transfer better than a stylus, especially on a soft surface. And I can kind of see from the pen marks where I have been, so I don't miss a spot. So now I'm going to see if that's working. This is a new piece of graphite paper. The new, and it's not, I'm sorry, I should finish what I'm saying. The new puts down a little darker line than an older piece. Like when I use dark ones, I will use an older piece of graphite that I've used time and time again, and it'll leave a lighter line. So let's see if this one is just too light. This is a small one, so I'm going to have to move it a lot. So the hinging point is going to be very handy. So I'm going to put it underneath there. I kind of know where it's at. And I'm going to go along here again. I'm not going to press too hard. You don't want a very dark. You want a very light line. I'm going to see if that's doing the job. And yes, it is. Right there, I can see the lines. They're very faint, and that is exactly what I want, but I can see them. Now, preferably, I would love to have a larger piece for this size of a pattern to transfer, but I don't have a larger, well-used piece. I cut them to make them a little bit easier to handle. Yeah, it's going on there. So I'm going to move it up a little, and then I'll know where it's at. Well, I don't have any up there to transfer, so I'll move it, kind of guesstimate where my flower is, and it just takes patience to get this on there, and knowing where all my spots are at. And you don't have to transfer the entire thing. If you miss a little bit, it's just to give you a general outline, layout, size. For me, sometimes I don't get the perspective right, or the the sizing. I can't think of the term right now. Let me get this in there. And I just keep on transferring. And like I said, I do this for lettering, especially lettering, because I'm not too good with lettering, hand lettering. And I just keep moving the graphite to where I think the pattern is going to be. And I keep marking. Yes, I should show you. You can see it. It's very faint. Some of it's a little darker, but that's okay. I can come in and lighten it with my magic eraser a little bit because I want it just enough for me to see where I'm going to go. You know, when I draw, usually I use like a water soluble. This is a watercolor pencil, and I'll do it with that too if I'm just sketching something on. I'm terrible at sketching. I need to learn how to do that better. So falling back on a pattern sometimes is the way I will go. Some of the lines are a little bit darker than I would wish, and I just need them to be very faint. So this is a piece of a magic eraser. You can see how very well worn it is, but this is what does the best job of removing graphite lines for me, and you can just come along and lighten the line. You don't want to erase it completely, but any area you think might be too dark, that's going to have a lot of shadowing, so that doesn't matter. But along the outside edges especially, like right here, this bottom edge might need to be lightened a little bit. And I don't follow the lines exactly, so it doesn't matter, you know, if you get outside of them. But I just didn't want them to be harsh where they showed through, because orange paints, oranges and yellows tend to be transparent, and these dark lines would show through easily. So along this outside edge too, I want to lighten it up. And that edge is... So this is going to be kind of a dark green, so it doesn't matter, or the greens will cover it. I'm just worried about the edges that have orange. So I think that does it well enough for me. And so now I will start painting. And that is how you transfer a design. This one is on a canvas. Like I said before, I also have done it on wood and other surfaces. Canvas board, and this works very well. And now if you know another method, please do share, and I will give it a try and see if I like it better. One more thing, I did want to mention that graphite paper is not carbon paper. Carbon paper you would not be able to remove, so make sure when you purchase a transfer paper that it's graphite paper, not carbon paper. Okay, see you in the next video.